But for me, it was the case of one day I feel normal and okay, going about my business, I have a bit of focus. Next day, I lose that a little bit. After that, all of a sudden, massive inspiration, great ideas, want to take action, great clarity. Then the following day, boom, crash, flat as a tack, completely uninspired, no energy, no focus, have no idea where you're going, self-doubt, left, right, and center, and questioning everything.
Welcome, I'm Peter Williams, and for the past 10 years, I've been connecting with thousands of people from the stage and online to help them discover the importance of spiritual and energetic practices so they can thrive with confidence, clarity, and purpose. It is time to awaken your connection, align with your soul, and achieve your own inner power right here on the Inner Power Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back, and I just want to say that this is a quick episode that I've decided to throw in here and help you out because this was really just inspired on the spot. I recently did a Facebook Live and just chatting and talking people through some tough energetic times, and this has been inspired by that, and the amount of comments and replies that I've received on that were really wonderful because it did seem to help a lot of people. And I figured, you know what, if this has helped them, maybe you missed that, you didn't see that, and this is here. And this is going to be a great little episode here to help you if you're going through tough energetic times. Now, before we go any further, I really want to outline what that means, because the one thing I do not want you to do here is go down the route of what is known as spiritual bypassing. And what I mean by that is that's where we externalize a lot of our problems and we start to point the finger of blame or making excuses or justifications based on things outside of ourselves when it's not the case. Most of you listening who are in the field, you'd know this. I don't know how many times I've heard people blame their problems on Mercury Retrograde, right? Please leave Mercury alone. Mercury is my ruling planet. I'm a Gemini, and Mercury's really a good little planet, and it does help us, but it's amazing. As soon as things go rough, you know, all of a sudden, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, or this is happening, or whatever else. And it's like all of their problems become external, and that's what we call a bit of spiritual bypassing. Whereas you've got to be really brutally honest with yourself and going, is that lack of communication because of Mercury, or that you just were too lazy to pick up the phone and text or email or whatever it may be? So that's just something to kind of think about. So there is that line of things. You can't do that. You've always got to look at self. You've always got to check in with self first, and you've got to make sure and be brutally honest with yourself. And then you can start to go, right, is it me? And if not, then we can go further and have a look at it. See, this is the hard balance in this field, because I have seen it a lot where people will blame it. Mercury retrograde, or this is happening, or this frequency or harmonic frequency is off, and that's why we're feeling it. No, I get all that. I 100% believe in that, so don't get me wrong. But there's also a point going, did you turn up? Did you do the work? Did you do everything you possibly could to work through that? And then the things you got to self-check and go through for yourself. If you can honestly answer, yes, I have, and then you're still kind of finding it tough, then it could very well that we're going through something. So like I said, at the moment, and the reason why I'm here, this is why I'm talking about this, I wanted to get on and jump on and talk about it like I did on the Facebook Live, is because the last 6 to 8 weeks of energy has been some of the most intense and rough energy that I have felt in 10 years. It has been so hard. I know it's not me, because the big telltale sign for me personally, and you'll have to figure out your own, but you may feel the same, but for me, it was the case of one day I feel normal and okay, going about my business, I have a bit of focus. Next day, I lose that a little bit. After that, all of a sudden, massive inspiration, great ideas, want to take action, great clarity. Then the following day, boom, crash, flat as a tack, completely uninspired, no energy, no focus, have no idea where you're going, self doubt, left, right, and center, and questioning everything. And you might even be getting to a point, especially if you're in my realm of like running your own business, where you go, is this it? Maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm over it. So you'll be a whole lot in your own head and mind trying to wrangle this energy. Now, like I said, it's been pretty intense and this has been lasting a while. Like I have been dealing with some interesting changes probably since August last year. If you become really aware of your energetic patterns, you can map it. And I highly suggest and recommend that you try to do this for yourself. So you might have been feeling this a bit longer, like I have, but these last 6 to 8 weeks, this kind of kicked off in April, especially. And it's been really putting us through the motions. The energetic washing machine has been huge. The ups and downs with the energy have been so intense and so sharp that it's been hard to handle, hard to manage. And many times throughout this energy, I have almost felt not myself or out of body and completely out of character for myself. And that is something I really don't like. Yes, I like my level of control and I like to do these things, but this one has really done my head in. Now, the other thing too is you may have found it so intense that all your usual tools that we kind of look for self care during these times, they may have helped alleviate some of it to a point, but you'll still find that you're still in that high bouncing energy, really high, really low. I got to a point where I was so tired of this that I started going like, this is like energetic bipolarism. One day super high, the next day super low, and it's just so out of character for me that it's just been literally doing my head in. The beautiful thing was it did get to a point I had to start talking to people about it, like obviously my support network, people around me who know me. And it's been also interesting going, oh my goodness, Pete, I'm glad you mentioned this. I thought it was just me. No, it's not. And this is why I'm here. This is why I wanted to talk to you very quickly about this, because if you're hearing this and you're resonating with anything I'm saying, I just want to say that no, this one at the moment goes beyond us. So if you've been feeling it, like it still doesn't exist, we still got to go through it. We've still got to do the work. We've still got to understand it. Don't get me wrong. But the whole thing is you'll find that level of intensity really, really hard to work with. And so through this, that's why I wanted to jump on here and help you. I wanted to help you to, one, understand that you're not alone in this. And two, there are a few ways to work through it. Now, you have to use the tools. Like I said, your usual tools, whether you want to do your grounding, whether you want to do your journaling, you try and meditate where you can. Personally, I found that being a little bit tricky, even because with the ups and downs, whatever, like, water, Epsom salt bath, whatever those usual tools, keep doing them, work through them. They do assist, but you'll probably find their potency is not as strong as it usually is because the energy is stronger at the moment. So you've got those usual tools. But the other thing that I really wanted to jump on and talk to you about and help you with, and this is to help you with the now, but this is also to help you with any other massive energetic turbulent times, because there's a reason behind it. That's what we have to understand. There is no escaping this. Doesn't matter how in tune you are, probably the more in tune, the more intense, but we have to go through these energies in order to move and shift where universe and spirit want us to be and where they want us to be for the greater good and planet. I don't want to get into the super duper technical side of things. And, yes, we can be talking about the shift from 3D to 5D. But you know what? Let's just focus on you. Let's just focus on you and your human body. Let's just focus on getting you through the rough, turbulent times and working through it and understanding it. When we're going through these times, when these times happen like an intense, it is a huge, intense energetic time. It is a huge energetic shift that we're all experiencing and going through. The reason for this is, yes, it's a calibration, and what it's asking us to do, it's actually helping us to evolve. And I love that word. So rather than getting into the super technical vibrational terms, which are great, but right here, right now, it's just asking you to evolve. And it's asking every single one of you, if you are feeling this energy, if anything I've said is resonating with you, it's asking you to evolve. It's asking you to question what is good for you, what is right for you, and where you are going. It is a massive, massive self check point for us. It is asking us to look in the mirror. It is asking us, are we happy with what we're doing? It is asking us, is the direction and the path that we're following the good one, or is it really going to lead us to where we want to do? You've got to understand, as much as this energy is happening in and around us and we have to experience it, we still have to make those choices. We go through this because it just gives us that chance to stop, reflect, ask, and reevaluate and make our choices again. But this is an evaluation. So if you're really feeling it, it's quite intense, like I've described, you'll probably find there's a massive evaluation. You may also find that the way that you're working at the moment, or the way that you're doing things, maybe the way that you're providing your service to clients, maybe the way that you are working and behaving and interacting in relationships, both personal or business, they may also be required a bit of a reflection and a bit of a change as well. So there's a lot going on here in and around that. The hard part is because the energy is so up and down and so turbulent and intense, you won't have time to percolate and then implement, integrate, and then self assess. It's such a quick and sharp evolution of energy and an increase of energy that we're going to get bombarded with a lot of different ideas. Because we don't have the time to sit down and assess and integrate those ideas, once we get those ideas, we're honestly being asked to move on to the next thing straight away, which unfortunately creates more confusion because you're getting more downloads, you're getting more ideas, and you haven't even had time to look at the ones that you got yesterday or the day before. So therefore you're going, hang on, but what I got the other day, is that the right thing? Is that the message? Is that direction? Or is what I'm getting today more of what I'm supposed to do? So it can be an absolute mind boggle. So this is where it comes down to how to help yourself in these kind of very energetic, turbulent times, whether it's now or somewhere in the future, because it's always going to happen at some point or another. So what we need to do in these times, these very, very energetic, turbulent times, is you need to learn to get out of your head and come back into the body. So remember, that's where most of the energy resides. And the whole thing is our mind, our conscious mind, can only, retain and also process a certain amount at certain times. The flow or the tap from universe in these moments is on full ball. Like, this is filling up the bathtub in the maximum possible way, and it doesn't slow down. So the trouble is, and this is just coming to me now, it's kind of like you're running the bath and you've got the water on hot because you want to maintain a good temperature to have a good bath. But at the moment, the universe, with all this water filling up the bath, we're being almost asked to jump in the bath now. And as we do, once you do, you're like, oh my goodness, this is just too hot. And so you're in, out, and you're trying to get used to this water or this temperature of this water, but it's finding it hard because it is too intense. And so all of a sudden you're too hot, and then you pull out of the water and all of a sudden you're getting cold. So therefore you get too cold, you jump back in, you get too hot. So there's no kind of nice equilibrium where you can go, this is really, really comfortable. So that's probably the best way to describe it. Is that mean all the downloads, all the information, all this beautiful stuff that's coming through, it's good stuff, but it's hot. There's so much of it, and you're like, I can't, it's just too much. I can't handle it. So you're trying to retreat and give yourself a bit of space to understand what's coming through. And then you do that, then all of a sudden you go, but now I don't feel anything, so you jump back in. So it's kind of like this real struggle of in and out, and it's very hot and cold. There's no in between. This is what universe does for us when they're asking for a greater shift on a greater level. And that's kind of like that evolution. But when we do this, that's why we have to come into these feelings and we have to work through this. Our conscious mind cannot handle the amount of stuff that we're going through. So that's why we say, please give yourself a bit of saving grace. Don't be hard on yourself during these times. By being hard on yourself, like I get that, it doesn't do yourself any favors. So definitely find a support network where people can understand you when you're having that, what are we, the whinge, bitch, and whine, okay? And, why not the wine, W-I-N-E, whinge, bitch, and whine, always good sessions to have that. But having it with someone who understands you on that level, of course, that's not going to be any of use to you if you're talking to someone who goes, oh, there you go, off and talking about your witchy woo-woo crap again and whatever, who's Sagittarian, got a retrograde. Or you don't want to be talking to that particular person, but you want someone who can kind of relate to you because that will just help you feel a bit easier about yourself. And that's going to help process and move it out of your mind. So you definitely need to talk about it. You need to move out of the conscious mind and you need to come back into the body. These particular moments, because it's a reevaluation, self-assessment, our head won't be able to process it. Our head will want to protect us with the ideas that we have. But universe and our soul are providing us with significant insight going, but you're either slowing down, you're not moving at the pace that we like, and they're trying to provide you with different ideas. That's why it's important to come into the feeling, what feels good for you? So whatever's coming through, start to come into the feelings, acknowledge your feelings. The more you can do that, the more you'll be able to move through this energy with a little bit more of like ease. And that's kind of important. So pay attention to that and then work with the feelings, understand the feelings around certain things. That's what's going to be super important for you during these times. As you go through that, you will get more understanding. You'll start to do it. It is important to write them down or log them, diarize them somewhere. Now, the reason for this is I cannot stress enough that when you are receiving information or getting downloads, getting these feelings, getting these visions, getting all this up and down energy, right? You are not going to be able to understand it right away. The thing is, there's kind of like this massive vibrational shift. This is energetic shift. We're getting all this information and energy thrown at us, but it's not coming to us in any particular order. That's where it gets confusing. You may receive information, you may receive messages. They may be relevant to now, but you may receive them now, but they might not be relevant until 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, like 5 years down the track. The whole thing is that's why you've just got to log them or write them down somewhere because it will just help to know where they are. The reason is because you've got to remember universe and soul energy is not linear. It won't be delivered to us in a linear fashion. If there is a chance for us to receive a message or understand a message from that side of ourselves, it will get delivered. It doesn't matter how it turns up, right? Whether it's going to be here and signed for it and then you receive it, or it's just going to be left at your door, small package, big package, doesn't matter. They will give it to you because this is a chance to give it to you. And then it's up to us to figure out later how it's going to pan out or how we're going to fit that into our lives. So it's all about providing us with more options, more understanding about the now and the future, and possibly putting that together. It is a helping thing. It is intense, but the whole thing is you're not alone on this one. Really wanted to stress that. So sit with yourself, give yourself that space, give yourself that time so you can work with this energy. We are shifting out of this. And that's me. So I really want to jump on here and say, doesn't matter where. And whenever you're listening to this, this message is for you. It doesn't matter when you're listening to this. If you're listening to this, it's a message. And the message is hang in there. Don't despair. You're almost there. And that's your message. Don't despair. You're almost there. All this turbulent energy, whether you can pinpoint it to something in your life or whether we are talking about universal energy here, the whole thing is that message is for you. You are here, whether you're watching this, whether you're listening to this, it's your message. Hang in there. It is temporary. It always is. It can be intense, it can be rough, and I have to admit, these last 6 months, some of the most intense, like I've said, to a point where I can't even say it's been, weird and wonderful. No, it's been weird, wacky, and sometimes downright like, what's happening? Like, why? Really deep stuff. Okay. And of course, the more volatile the energy, the more it can shift us. And that's the way it works, unfortunately. So it is asking us to shift, it is asking us to evolve. And I just really, really do want to point out and reiterate to you that you are almost there, you're almost out of the energy, and I just really want to encourage you. So just keep going. Just breathe. It's okay. You're not alone on this. There are so many other people experiencing it. And the whole thing is, it's temporary. You'll be on the other side of this soon. And when you do, when you are on the other side of this energy, you will know within yourself. Because even for myself now, I know I'm past that. I can feel that it's not going to be as volatile. And how do you know this? You'd be like, hey, Pete, how do you know? You will know because all of a sudden you will have clarity. You're going to have vision, and you're going to feel like you've got a bit more drive or purpose. You may also find that you have new ideas to have work with, but you will also have flow with those new ideas. That's when you will know that you're really starting to move forward. And like I said, the key element is to get out of here and feel it in here. If it feels good in here, work with that and then allow your conscious mind to work with that energy. Then you might start to also feel this energy shift. If you're too much in your head, you may find you're making that energy last a bit longer than it needs to because you're now creating it and you haven't had time to actually work with it. So please be mindful of that. But you are almost there. If you're hearing this, you're seeing it through. Trust yourself. Trust what spirit and universe have in store for you. And the other big tip I want to add to this and to finish off with is whatever you receive and whatever you're getting, don't just let it sit. It is so important for you to take action on it. Whatever you have received and however you've received it, you have done so for a very specific reason. There is no such thing as coincidence with what you receive from universe and when we go through such volatile or tough energies. It is there to push us. It is there to help us to wake up to some of our own complacencies. And it's there to help push us to know where we can go and what we're truly capable of and what we're really here for. This is an evolution for ourselves. This is an evolution for anybody who's been called to do a greater work in this world. So please listen to it, sit with it, and then act on it. And if you do, you're going to start getting somewhere. So important. But just wanted to jump on, let you know you're not alone, and keep going. You're almost there. And if this in any way resonates with you and it has helped you, or you just need someone to talk to about the energy, please feel free to reach out, because sometimes I know some people feel like they don't have a safe place to talk about these things or the right person. But just, jump on here, jump on, socials, wherever, and let us know, because trust me, I understand, and I'm not going to be thinking, okay, you're off the deep end, because it has been rough, and I just want to let you know that you're not alone. So stick in there, you're almost there, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.